It's that everyone who went through it can know that their struggle wasn't for nothing. When you have a young man who can rise up from something like this and do what John has done, he honors all of us.
Dion believed in John the way the rest of us believe in the Master Chief. He made it seem like this tragedy that shaped him was almost necessary. I certainly felt like I had the proper beginnings to a hero's origin story. The story made sense. It felt right. Sometimes you have to go back, though. Look again, because maybe you'll see something small, out of place, that single thread. Later that evening, after my interview with Dion, I was pretty drained, so I spent some time sifting through a bunch of file boxes. I'd paid this scavenger in the outer colonies to dig around and send over any Elysium City documents she could find. The only local government records left were hard copies, but I took them anyway. I was sorting through a messy box of local census registries when I stumbled across John's name. One line of basic information, printed out in black and white. That's when I saw it. A single letter next to his name. D. I was staring at an official document that said quite plainly that in 2517, John died at 6 years old. Please join me for the next episode of Hunt the Truth. I couldn't believe it. According to the document I was looking at, John, the boy who would go on to become the Master Chief, died 41 years ago. My protagonist, the greatest hero of our time, was dead at 6. It was a major discrepancy, and I needed to find a way to fix it. I'm Benjamin Giroux, and this is Hunt the Truth.
Continue to hold.
If you ever happen to obtain sufficient clearance to call the Office of Naval Intelligence, you'll be on hold for at least an hour. If you ever happen to get a call from them, you will also wait an hour. And in the end, they never unblock the video, so you just end up talking to a really crisp insignia. I am waiting to talk with Michael Sullivan, hoping he can help me with my little records problem.
Continue to hold.
And it's been 85 minutes. Michael Sullivan, also known as Sully, works for the ONI in public relations. If it seems odd to you that the most secretive agency in our government has a PR department, you're not alone. But that's not something I'd mention to them. Besides, Sully had hooked me up with the assignment in the first place. I was grateful for the opportunity.
Office of Naval Intelligence. Public Relations.
Ben.
Hi, Sully. Hey, yeah, thanks for taking my call.
Absolutely. How are the sources?
Up until this point, I'd had no problems with the story. All my facts had been lining up nicely, but now I had an obscure document from the far reaches of the galaxy that listed John as deceased. This contradicted everything. I needed Sully to make it make sense, and thankfully, he did just that.
Welcome to the outer colonies. Nothing makes sense out there.
No, I know. It's just, I just want to make sure that I button up all the details.
And that's what you're doing. Look, Ben, it's the far reaches of space out there, and the planet you're talking about was glass to hell. You know just as well as anybody that if there are any local records, they're a mess.
Okay, so I felt a little stupid. Sully was right. It's a real problem in the outer colonies. Planets destroyed by glassing have bad records. Every researcher knows this, and every researcher knows that questioning that fact is standard fodder for conspiracy theorists.
It's a cover-up. That's Government Secrecy 101.
That's a message I received last week from a man named Meshach Maradi. He's one of many truthers out there who've come out of the woodwork since I started doing this story. Apparently, he heard I was investigating the Master Chief. Meshach seems less ridiculous than most of the characters who've been filling up my inbox, but he's definitely been the most persistent. He's left me a message every day for the past 2 months. I never respond, but I did find the timing of his last message pretty funny.
Let me guess. The government is telling you that the records don't make sense because the planet was glassed, right? That's what they tell you.
Technically, Mishak was right. That was what the government was telling me. But unfortunately for Mishak's theory, it was true. Glassed planets have bad records. John's childhood friend, Ellie Bloom, has dealt with this reality her whole life. I recalled what she'd said in her interview.
I mean, it can be hard enough out here trying to do business between planets that haven't been glassed. There's so much upheaval. Keeping track of personal records, financial documents, medical records, it's a total crapshoot.
In retrospect, I'd probably been asking for this kind of hiccup. Getting cute with the research, opening up a rat's nest of old paper records, and for what? All I dug up from slogging on my own was a few hazy kindergarten stories from Ellie and a nonsensical death record. But things were looking up. Sully had arranged a face-to-face interview with ONI Vice Admiral Gabriela Dvorak. That not only got me off-world, but it was on board the newest Autumn-class heavy cruiser, the UNSC Under the Breach. Got a private shuttle up, full luxury. They had me riding in style. When I came aboard, Dvorak even greeted me personally. Now, civilians aren't normally allowed on board an active-duty ship, let alone given this sort of attention.
Please, call me Gabriela.
Okay. This was not the kind of hospitality I was used to. What brings you way out here?
Work.
She told me she was on a detachment and in the neighborhood. I guess I lucked out. The white glove treatment continued, too. Captain's mess, officers' quarters, the whole thing. By the time we finally got to her office for the interview, Dvorak could have said anything, and I'd have been thrilled. But she's the real deal, and she jumped right into it.
It was that finally moment. After all the fighting was done, I was helping lead all the prisoners out of the containers.
As a lieutenant in the UNSC, Gabriela not only took part in the ground operations that freed John and countless others from the rebel labor camps in Elysium City, but she remembered the 13-year-old as well. She described the liberation.
When you saw them, what had been done to them, you realized who you'd been fighting to save. The aftermath of it, it was ugly. Everyone was streaming out into the daylight, squinting, limping, just gray and fragile and sickly. Their backs were hunched, all their eyes just staring at the ground. I mean, they looked dead.
That's when she saw John.
He was sticking out like a sore thumb. In the middle of all this just beaten humanity, there's this tall, young kid walking toward me, towering over the others, his shoulders back, his eyes forward, and when he passed me, he looked right at me. Looked in my eyes. Yeah, I mean, that doesn't sound like much, but that eye contact coming from someone in that moment who'd been in that circumstance was shocking. He looked malnourished and dehydrated like everybody else, but he was so young. And whatever had broken all these people, it hadn't broken him.
In the aftermath, Dvorak remained stationed in Elysium City, working in the refugee camps. From the first day, John stepped up to help Gabriela with her duties. She came to know him well over the next several months.
There was a point when he told me about his parents, that they'd been abducted along with him. He didn't say much, but they didn't make it.
Her understanding was that it had gotten ugly in there. They died a couple days apart, a few weeks before the liberation, and John was there when it happened. On the rare occasion when John opened up about this, Dvorak says it was memorable.
He would get this look on his face when he talked about it. It's hard to describe. I'd see it on him other times, too. He seemed to feel the weight of all that had happened, but still, he was calm. Not angry, not desperate, just resolute. He was a remarkable young man.
Like so many people at the time in Elysium City and throughout this region of the galaxy, John had lost his home, his family, everything. People packed up whatever they had left, got out of town, and most never looked back. But Dion Govender, John's boxing coach, said many of them found a way to get some measure of closure.
Yeah, definitely. We all got separated and spread out across the planet and the colonies, but some of us were able to cobble together a list of names and kind of a memorial that grew longer as we got more information. Yeah, I remember seeing John's parents' names on the list early on, but not John. After he missed that last practice, never saw him again, but I remember thinking, that's okay. You know, as long as I never see his name on this list, that's okay. And I never did.
His will to survive left an impression on then Lieutenant Gabriella Dvorak as well.
I think John just didn't want to be a victim anymore. I remember him telling me he was going to enlist. He said he was going to make a difference. I've never been more sure of another person than I was of him when he said that.
Out of the chaos of war, from the rubble, a young John was able to forge a purpose for himself. A purpose that would drive him to become the hero the galaxy would one day need him to be. This is the kind of turn in a story that gives me patriotic goosebumps. I was feeling genuinely moved on my trip back home. When I got there, though, Ellie Bloom was going to ruin all that for me.
Hey, I just wanted to follow up with you about your story. I'm really confused.
Okay, what's...
Remember how I said I was going to tell my friend Katrina about it?
Katrina was that other girl in John's neighborhood, the third wheel in Ellie's childhood stories of playing with John. Ellie had moved off planet in 2517, but Katrina had stayed.
She said that John was dead. He died when he was 6.
Wait, what? What?
John was perfectly healthy, but then he just started wasting away. At first they thought maybe it was some autoimmune thing, and then they thought it was something else, and then something else, and then meanwhile he's getting all these tests, but the doctors couldn't figure it out at all, and his parents were panicking. It sounded horrible.
Then John died. Just like that. I had no idea what to make of this. Ellie seemed convinced, though, so I got her to put me in touch with her friend Katrina. Katrina wouldn't let me record the interview, but this woman was adamant. I wanted to discount what she was saying, but she seemed to remember it so vividly, providing extensive detail, I couldn't ignore it. As far as this person was concerned, John was dead. Before I could even begin to wrap my head around that claim, though, here was the kicker from Katrina. John's parents were alive and well in Elysium City all the way up until Katrina left the planet in 2528, 4 years after their supposed death. She was wrong. She had to be thinking of someone else, or she was lying. Why would she lie, though? I had to admit she seemed pretty convincing, but it didn't make sense otherwise. I still thought I could fix the story, though. Make the pieces fit, make it make sense. But what I didn't realize was that this crack was only the beginning, and the whole ugly mess was about to split open. Please join me for the next episode of Hunt the Truth.
half price or less. So usually a lot of games end up being like only $30 or $20 when I get them. When they used to be $60 or less. Like I get a lot of games at $5 or $6 just because they end up going like 90% off.
Do you feel left out because you haven't played the coolest hip games as they come out for the kids?
Sometimes, like you guys still play Battlefield 4 every once in a while together. I never got it because when I bought Battlefield 3 to play with Bruce and them back at G4, I got burned because we only played it like 3 times and I spent $60 on a game that I didn't play.
So how many hours did you get out of that?
For me, I was like, so I didn't buy Battlefield 4 for that same.
How many hours would you say you got out of Battlefield 3?
Out of 3, I didn't get nearly enough. I probably got like 10 maybe.
So you guys owe him like $50.
Yeah. Take it up with EA. So here's the thing. I'm going to blow Spool's mind because when he said this earlier, the $1 an hour thing, I was like, okay, all right. I have a foolproof way to negate this all the way around. The fact that he spent how much money on your PC? How much money do you?
800?
No, that's bullshit. I want to hear an actual.
I got it. My case was free. I got a bunch of free things. For
Okay, all right. Let's say you bought all of those things.
He's
like
so
a normal
entitled.
consumer.
Then it would be like 11 or 1200.
Okay, so you spent $1,200 on your PC, but you want $1 an hour games. Now,
Yep.
you're paying on either the back end or the front end. So for the console, you pay $400 or so, and then you pay $60 for a 10-hour game, right? So either way, you're kind of paying.
Yeah, but the PC has way more utility than a console does. So
I would agree.
I work off it. I can edit off my computer. I can.
You don't edit when you're at home. You
I have to.
He's so extreme.
I haven't recently, but I have
If you actually paid
That's
for the
another thing.
pornography that you look
You can
at.
stream from Xbox now, though.
Oh, that's right. You can stream for the Xbox.
One button to stream. Boop.
Yeah.
So you're kind of paying on the front and the back end, I think. Because your rule makes sense to me.
But like I'm
for,
saying, my PC isn't just an entertainment machine. It has a lot more utility.
porn,
versus,
yeah,
versus
porn.
an Xbox or anything.
And throw on those like Oculus Rift, like where you're fucking an anime girl.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
Do you know?
All that said, I still have paid full price for some games that I knew more so that I wouldn't be getting like the full, like I wouldn't get 60 hours out of it. Like I knew I'd only get 12 or 13. I'm trying to think of an example.
Spool, what's besides Team Fortress?
Yeah.
What's one game that you feel like is the best bang for your buck?
Civ 5.
I like that answer.
Or Skyrim. Skyrim modded is up there.
Absolutely.
If you're on PC.
Yeah, I like both those answers.
Pornography-esque.
Yeah. Throw another one at me. Come on, I'm ready.
Well, no, I already beat you with
You didn't beat me.
You spin it on the front
You
end.
didn't beat me.
I love Ignorant School.
My video's so nice for it.
So anyway, Spool's wrong. I don't know.
I'm not wrong.
$1 an hour?
He's not wrong. I think he actually represents a majority of gamers. I think a lot of gamers have been spoiled in terms of like price points, that they expect a lot of game for not a lot of money. And then something like The Order comes out, or like Ashura's Wrath, something that is essentially a movie with little interludes where it has an illusion of gameplay. And they don't know what to do with that, because it's fundamentally a different experience and a different cost-benefit than they're used to expecting.
And I come from a big MMO background, so I'm used to paying like even subscription monthly. So that's where like that makes up for movie prices, I guess.
That's always how I felt about it too. Is that for $15 a month,
What the hell are you talking about?
I used to have to.
No, I know exactly what you're
Back
saying.
when I was a teenager, I had to explain this to my parents and be like, "Oh, well, just $15 a month. That saved me from going to the movies like every other day."
Bullshit, but you didn't go to the movies before that.
Yeah, but his parents didn't know that.
When I was in high
So
school,
the Spool's a liar.
when I was in high school and college, I went to the movies a lot. I don't anymore because I can wait. Because now we have Netflix and the internet and other ways.
Was that a question?
No.
Ooh,
I
no
don't.
wonder you want $1 an hour.
I don't. Also, I haven't pirated games since college. So that's a long time.
Didn't ask you, but
Did you give the developer back their money, or?
No. It's my money and I want it now.
What?
I don't understand.
the last game I pirated, the last game I pirated was Enter the Matrix, and I'm still proud of that.
How did? Enter the Matrix. Wait,
Yeah.
wait. Wasn't that on?
I ended up buying it after because I felt bad. But
Wasn't that on
paid for that
consoles?
game.
that's bad. That's not a good thing to pay for.
Enter the Matrix. Wasn't that on consoles?
Yeah,
How'd you pirate it?
it was on PC.
Oh, okay.
It was in the age of garbage PC ports. They're still not that great.
Yeah,
Anyway, Adam,
Dying Light's pretty good.
when we were talking about
Yeah, it
this
is.
previously, you were pretty charged about it, and you said
Not
you were
great at
saving
it,
something
though.
for the podcast.
I don't remember. I think
Yeah,
I
but-
calmed down once they started playing Dying Light.
I calmed down.
I'm having a great time.
I've noticed, Adam, you don't fucking kill anyone.
Oh, I'm just
You
mindlessly
just
running
run
around.
away from everything.
Well, I'm getting agility points.
I
Look at
was
that shit.
listening to you explain this game, and I was just shaking my head earlier because you're like, "Here's how you got to play. You got to run away from everything. You definitely don't want to go out at night. That's bad." You're also like how far into the game, and you don't even have your grappling hook yet, which means you've been running like a pussy and not leveling up.
38% of the way through the story.
That's why you don't have it yet.
Yeah.
You have to kill people to get that, Adam. They don't just fucking hand you upgrades for being a coward.
I thought you were supposed to kill zombies, right?
It's kind of hard. Well, Michael disagrees.
Good
No,
jump.
that's the thing. No, you can jump really far, and you're like,
Yeah, it's
look,
great.
You roll.
This game's really good about fall
Is there
damage.
no fall damage? Oh.
There is, but that's like a technique he's got. That
Okay.
It's an ability to do that roll and negate fall damage.
Hey, come after me, bro.
Come after me, bro.
He doesn't care.
Come after me, bro.
It's a good
So,
game.
Adam, come on, form an
What,
opinion.
what was I charged about? I forget.
man.
I don't know. What were you
was going off
charged
about
about?
School's $1 an hour.
It's $1 an
It
hour.
might have just been
it's
that.
just- It was. Yeah, he was just making me mad. I was like, that makes 0 sense at like $1 an hour. That like, how can you even equate that? Like, okay, so how many hours, Michael, have you played of Dying Light?
I don't know. Probably maybe like 25 maybe.
25. Okay, I think I've sunk about 15.
how do we value that? There's no price structure.
$1 in 1 hour.
Shut up. I think that's what fired Adam up, was you just saying that. Like you would just sit down with a fucking timer and be like, click, and like, you better not disappoint me.
I was sitting there and I was trying to have like a kind of like a high concept like discussion of like, yeah, you know, there's really no way.
1 hour, 1 hour.
Yeah, I was like, you can't really equate gameplay to like a value, because like I could just run around at night for like 60 hours in this game and do nothing. And that can be fun for me, but then fucking Spool just crawls out from under his desk. Like, another hour.
Pops out of his shell.
I do also play a lot of RTSs and the stress games.
So what if you play?
He keeps remembering other games he plays.
Okay, so like
I like puzzle games. I like racing games.
So like Bruce's point, they're like
favorite MMOs, World of Warcraft.
Goddamn, Bruce has sunk like 100 hours plus into Battlefield.
Yep.
So should he have paid $100 for that game?
No, $60.
He probably did. I mean, if he bought the Game Plus Premium, he did pay $100 for it. 120, I think.
Okay, see, Bruce put 1,000 hours into it.
I spent $120, but I probably put like 400 or 500 hours.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
So you owe them money.
So I owe them money.
Yeah.
I did play. I have like 600 hours played on TF2, so I owe Valve a lot of money yet.
About a lot of money.
Man.
That's math.
So Spool, is there now, or has there ever been a game you're willing to go over $1 an hour to play?
Bioshock Infinite, I think I bought for full price, and I thought it was worth it.
Feel good about that?
A lot of people probably.
Why did you think it was worth it? Well, what about the experience made you feel this is worth $60?
And no, I bought Wolf.
No. Wolf of
I like Civ.
No, I just like the story and this the story.
So you'll make an exception for games that you
Some
like.
games, yeah.
All right, that's the rule that we all make.
Actually, now that I think about it, I might have got it on Green Man Gaming for like.
Okay, all right, go back to work.
By the way,
normally I just buy games that I hate, but this one I like.
I'm gonna make an exception to my rule and buy something I like.
Why are you trying to chase Johnny?
He's trying to get a stupid grappling hook.
Yeah, that guy's melting because it's daylight out. I don't even know how the hell he's alive. That's like one of the special night infected.
Yeah, I like chasing them when they're like they don't know what to do.
So you don't kill anyone, but you chase the super infected for nothing.
He's like
You
I
just
Am
chase
Legend.
them.
He's like I'm a crazy monster in the zombie world.
I will say, as far as like price dropping too, another thing that's convenient, I guess, like in my adult life now that I have way less time to play games, is I don't really wait to buy games. Like if I want to buy a game, I buy it when it comes out.
Yeah.
But just because I have so much less time to play games, I won't buy a game if I know I'm not going to have any time to play it.
Same
And
here.
inevitably, just without me even trying, I'll go to buy a game and it's like $30 or $40 now because it's 6 months later, 8 months later. I never played Far Cry 3. It was a game I wanted to play since right when it came out. Everybody at work was playing it, and I was playing something else. And then I went to play Far Cry 3, but then another new, I think Tomb Raider came out.
Far Cry 4 came out.
And I was playing that, and I was really trying to beat it before Far Cry 4 because it's like if Far Cry 4 was like a big upgrade, it would be harder to go back.
Yeah.
And I've just never played it. It's a game that I know I like. I say I've never played it. I put like 5 hours into it. I've 100%ed Far Cry 4. It's just I just didn't get the opportunity at the time to play Far Cry 3. So it's just like it's worked out for me where I'll buy games that maybe I thought about buying when they first came out, but I'm like I don't have time. But by the time I buy them, it's like half price or whatever.
That's the other thing too. Like I always forget about this. Like our younger listeners will get to this point one day in their life, but this weird moment where time is like basically like around Christmas. Like time just feels like it's crawling when you have no money or you don't have a job. Like you're going to school and you're like, man, I cannot wait for this game to come out. Like the days feel like months. And then when you get like our age and
it's like shit that came out.
We're all in a weird kind of position where like we play games partly for a living, like in a way, like for content and stuff. But like I'm like I can't fucking keep up anymore. There's too many games coming out. Like I kind of miss the days where I would just wait for the like Final Fantasy VII to come out, where I would just be biting my nails just waiting for this.
So that's actually twofold. We have less time now, but games are releasing a lot more now as well.
Yeah.
There was a
More popular
time,
than ever.
like around 2006 or whatever, it was possible to play every AAA release. Because there would be maybe 2 or 3 a month.
That was like the heyday of gaming for me. I graduated high school in 2005.
Perfect.
And I got a job like 3 months later. Being like 18 to 20, all I fucking did was just buy every single game. But and then even, it was a lot of money to buy every AAA title, but that's all I fucking did. Like, I had friends that like went out to clubs and this and that. I spent a substantial less because it's like, okay, I dropped $180 in one day because I bought 3 games, but I bought 3 games this month. That's what I spent my money on.
Yeah.
Whereas like people would go out and spend $200 in a night. You know
what's cheaper than having a girlfriend is having a video game.
Yeah.
And much
Absolutely
more
true.
satisfying.
I don't know if you can equate the two.
Plus playing video games and not having a girlfriend, I ejaculated way more. Because it's like whenever I'm ready for it,
It's like
I'm ready.
You see one boob in a game and you're like, there it is.
Yeah.
Put your controller down.
That's the boob I've been.
Sometimes you don't put it down. You know, you just hold it with one hand.
Michael, you're living the perfect life.
Yeah.
You really are.
Those fun gaming session nights where you'd be up for 16 hours and every 3 you just jerk one out. You know?
So here's the really fascinating thing, and I
Stop it, fool.
came to this realization yesterday. When I was a kid, gaming was the most expensive hobby I could have, as opposed to like, I don't know, jacks or whatever the hell people do as kids.
When were you a kid?
1922.
1937.
Right before the stock market crash, I put all my money in jacks. Jacks and hoops. Hoops with sticks. I love those games.
Yeah, the hoop
I was level
stick.
32. Hoop sticker.
Oh man.
There was one kid that had the hoop stick in their neighborhood, and he was very popular. But now as an adult, it's weird because games have kept the same price point over 2 decades.
Yeah.
They're still $60 somehow, because no one will tolerate them going higher. And now gaming is one of the cheaper hobbies you can have because they're all really long, they're crammed with content. Like GTA 5 for $60 is absurd. It should probably cost twice that, if not 3 times that. But it's got such a wide
But it
market.
will with all the DLC and everything, right?
No, the DLC's been free.
It exists.
so far because they realized that they've had a shitty rollout so far, right? Isn't that
What?
Well, that guy just fucking shot
I
that.
thought he was a zombie.
I did too for a second. I was really confused.
Online's been broken for a long time, and, and
But,
I mean,
but the online's free. They haven't charged
right,
for any
exactly.
of it.
Well, I think that's what we're saying.
Even as a single player game, though.
And
Or like
It's a
Red Dead.
very massive single player game.
So my point is also like, everyone complains about like they're
Hey.
Because games have kept the same price point over 2 decades. New
Yeah.
games are still $60 somehow, because no one will tolerate them going higher. And now gaming is one of the cheaper hobbies you can have because they're all really long, they're crammed with content. Like GTA 5 for $60 is
Yeah.
absurd. It should probably cost twice that, if not 3 times that. But it's got such a wide
But it
market.
will with all the DLC and everything,
No,
right?
the DLC's been free.
If it exists.
So far because they realized that they've had a shitty rollout so far, right? Isn't that
What?
Well, that guy just fucking shot
I
that.
thought he was a zombie.
I did too for a second. I was really confused.
Online's been broken for a long time, and,
Right,
and
but,
I mean,
but
like,
the online's free. They haven't charged
right,
for any
exactly.
of it.
Well, I think that's what we're saying.
Even as a single player game, though. Or like
It's a
Red Dead.
very massive single player game.
So my point is also like, everyone complains about like they're ripping us off with DLC and that those aspects of a game used to be free, like patches and stuff used to be free for a game. True, but also 10 years ago, $60 is worth probably what, 80 or 90 or $100 now.
Yes.
So you end up paying on an inflationary base the same amount for the same amount of content if you choose to buy the DLC.
I see, yeah.
So while they don't need to raise that base level price, they're charging extra DLC because they realize that the consumer doesn't want to pay more than $60 up front.
Joel, what you're describing is better business.
Yes, it is.
Because
It's
then,
much smarter.
Because then people get to make the choice whether or not they're going to pay them, more money, rather than forcing you to pay $100 for Mario.
It'd be like in 2015 or 2005 or 2004, 2003, paying like $45 for a trial version of the game where you get like limited access to some of the features.
N64 games were like priced anywhere between like $60 and $120.
Yeah, they were $70.
Yeah,
sometimes.
Nintendo has always been a little.
Nintendo's
expensive.
interesting. Yeah, they have been, and their games also retain value way longer than most other ones do. Their
Yeah.
games never go below 60 unless they want them to.
I mean, it made sense with cartridges and stuff. Like they were harder. It was more expensive. I mean, 32 megabit was it? 32 megabytes? Is that all they were?
64 bits.
And 64. I forget how big the cartridge was, but like
a lot of pixels though.
I think 128 meg is what they would max out at, but most were 32 meg.
something like when they
in terms
first
of
launched.
storage.
Yeah, and it's like back then it was like that's kind of fucking crazy. That's like people were buying zip drives and shit back then. Like
Adam, you were about to say something, or at least I think you were, that was pretty appropriate, which was if they were cartridges, you couldn't copy them. So there was no pirating in that stuff, so you had to buy them that way or never get them at all.
Or
I wasn't going
borrow
to say
them
that,
from
but
your
thank you
friends.
for making me think I'm smart.
But really? Okay. Well,
Good job, Adam.
I thought you were going that way.
You little smart guy, you.
No, it's a very good point.
But now, I mean, like these games can be pirated, so they have to put them in a price range that people can afford them, or else they're just going to get pirated all to hell. So.
Well, people are finally, like with Steam, people are figuring that out. They're like, oh,
Yes.
if we make games cheap, people will buy them because it's almost easier these days.
Absolutely.
So it is. It's easier to buy a game. Than
Yeah,
to
buying
Absolutely.
a cheaper game is like it's just a hassle.
It's almost
you know,
habitual
to
now.
fucking
Yeah.
to find somewhere where you can torrent it or something
And
like that.
call me a crazy dork, but
Okay.
I
Crazy dork?
actually love paying for a game that I want to play because I want to support the people that made a game that I love.
That's because you're old.
That is because I'm old.
Little
Maybe.
Joel.
When you're
That's because
younger-
you had a job and
Yeah.
you know what it's like to make
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
No, when I didn't have a job, this is a story I've told many times on this or a previous
we go.
incarnation of this podcast. I went to see Muppets from Space 3 times in theaters when I didn't have the money to do so because I said to myself, God damn it, they should be making more Muppet movies. I need to support the Muppets.
You had to have had the movie or they wouldn't let you in. Money.
Well, I had the money.
You had to have had the movie.
School's trying.
God
What did
damn
you mean,
it.
Spool?
He meant to say, he said he didn't have the money to see it. I think Spool was implying he had to have had the
Yeah.
money because he wouldn't be able to
I
go.
mean, I literally
But he-
didn't have
but he
money.
just
I mean,
said he had the movie.
I like the idea of like two guys in suits counting every dollar bill that's coming in from the movie theater, and they're like, "What are we at?" We're like $12 short.
Someone in Baton Rouge loves the
Like,
Muppets.
wait a minute, this envelope from Baton Rouge just came through. How much is it? It's just enough. We'll make another Muppet movie.
One more Muppet movie.
I can get what you're saying though, as far as like supporting it. That's why I buy like I watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia on Netflix. It's like my favorite show. I know the next season's gonna be on Netflix, but like I'll buy every season on Xbox Video. One, so I can watch it as it comes out.
Yeah.
But two, it's like, okay, here's my $25. You know, there's
you guys have
there's-
earned it.
yeah, I want to support the show, and it's just more convenient. And it boils down to if I even thought of like torrenting that, it'd be way more trouble than just saying here's $25.
Yeah.
And then you get it. You get it immediately. You know it's in the best quality, you know, as far as picture and all that stuff. It's just too much of a hassle.
It's funny you bring that up because instead of now I've been looking at like ways to buy shows and seasons and things like that and trying to keep up with them. No, what, $2-3 an episode? Is that what it is?
It's like $2 an episode, or usually like $20 to $30 a season, depending on
It
the
ends up
show.
being cheaper than cable.
Well, that's what I was just about to say. Evil Bruce pays for cable because I can watch all of these shows and I don't have to worry about paying $2-3.
You can watch them for free.
A la carte, yeah.
Yeah, and
I love that mindset.
You don't watch them for free. No, I didn't say for free.
It's like PlayStation Plus or Xbox Live. I get the games for free.
Exactly, yeah.
For $10 a month, right? No, I know, but I'd much rather pay a lump sum and see anything I want whenever they air than waiting for It's Always Sunny to come out on iTunes or whatever. And I think in the future, eventually they're going to hit on iTunes when they hit on what's it called, on television. I mean, some already do, but it's pretty soon it's going to be that way for everything. And then cable will be totally obsolete.
Yeah.
But for now, I actually don't mind paying for cable because I have a DVR.
I'm so excited for Slingbox as a side note.
Wait,
Hasn't that existed for years?
Not Slingbox. What's the name of this stupid new thing? The dumb new.
The thing you're so excited for?
That's dumb.
Yeah,
What are you talking
you
about?
get HBO
Yeah, that sounds
and
great.
ESPN and stuff, and
Yeah.
it's like $10 a month.
Cable?
No,
Oh.
I don't know.
it's not Slingbox, but
Xbox
it's
Video?
like Slingbox.
Are we the #1 podcast on the internet yet?
Now we are.
Yes!
Right,
We did it.
Right behind
moving on
Slingbox or whatever the
To
fuck.
the thing the
Joe,
kids
why don't
love.
you Google
talk
that on
about.
your phone?
So,
man?
so
Figure it out.
we've shared some stories about shorter games that we felt justified in paying for. Let's do the opposite. Have we ever bought a game based purely on how long or how much content we thought would be in the game and then did not have a fun experience? I know that when I was a kid, there was some Christmas, I got all my Christmas card money together, had enough to buy one new game, and I decided which game to buy based on what was described on the back of the box, obviously looking for the most stuff, and what had the biggest number was a little game called Batman Forever. And it was one of the worst games I've ever played.
Yeah.
I picked it specifically because it had...
Sling TV is what it's called.
all right.
Oh, yes, right, okay, thank you.
You interrupted my Batman Forever story.
Oh no!
So it said it had some like...
Man.
It said it had like 250 rooms, and I was like, that's a lot of rooms. I'm never going to beat all those rooms.
That's true.
And so I started
How many
playing-
rooms are on the disc?
So I remember just like playing it at home, and in like 5 minutes, I was like, I've made a mistake. This is bad. And that was like $60, and that was it. That was it. So I had to play it a lot because I bought it and I had to, but I didn't enjoy it.
How old?
Hey, you did it.
Thank you.
Having some trouble.
90.
So that was around the time that you didn't have the internet, so you couldn't look up gamer.
No, there were like I had Nintendo
Wait, this
Power.
was wait, Batman Forever the video game?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Super
the
Nintendo.
Mortal
You didn't buy the
Kombat
laser
clone,
disc
right?
or- Wait,
No, the game. Sorry, the video game.
Right.
Batman Forever the game.
What console was it for?
Super Nintendo.
That was the
Yeah,
Mortal Kombat
it
one,
had
right? The
digitized
side scroller.
actors.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It was just like Mortal Kombat fighting style with the
gotta play
digitized
this.
actors of Batman Forever.
Yep.
But imagine a Mortal Kombat game where you just keep walking to the right. That was the game.
I need to play
Yeah,
this.
so it's like it would literally like they would have the same stances and everything, and they'd like sway like Mortal Kombat, and it was like a fighting game just like that. It was a rotten piece of shit.
They
Yeah,
added
just
like a ton of
fucking
hidden rooms to try and
awful.
make it seem like an actual
you
game.
had to like
250 of them.
you had to like shoot a grappling hook like up into the air with like
then drop,
ass
throw a
backwards
batarang.
controls where you had to like hold up on the D-pad and like push the R button with another button to shoot the grappling hook. Like it's
Perfect.
it's the stupidest game ever, and they somehow someone decided there wasn't enough buttons on the Super Nintendo controller, so there's like 5 extra commands where you have to push multiple buttons, and then it's just fucking awful.
It's hard to be
How
Batman.
many hours did you play it, Lawrence?
More than I should have. So this is weird because I was a kid, so I don't really have
1
a
hour?
good track of time. No, well, I guess I know what you're getting at. Like time dilates when you're a kid. No, it was more like I would be at home on Saturday and my parents would be off. I don't know, having sex or something, and I would just be in the house, just doing nothing
Weird.
but playing.
They told you.
Playing my group of you assume things when you're young.
I bet my dad's really giving it to mom.
Never. Yeah. And then I'm like drawing my crayon drawings, and it's just lewd pictures of
I
sex.
like the idea that your dad comes out and you give him a little smile, like, good job, Dad. He's like, what the fuck is my kid
Yeah.
smoking?
My kid's
You little
creepy.
weirdo.
So 30 hours is what you're coming down.
30, probably more than that. But,
God damn.
I mean, so I only owned maybe 5 or 6 games total, and I got really good at them because I had nothing else to do. I remember my crowning achievement as a child, and this is going to be depressing and hopefully will impress somebody. But I beat Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game, without losing a single life.
That's
because
pretty difficult.
It's a fun game. I
that's
can
all
understand
I
the
did.
replayability in
I'm kind
that.
of more impressed with Batman Forever,
I mean,
honestly.
I am too.
I don't think I ever beat Batman Forever because that game was busted. I remember it was impossible. I don't think anyone could beat it. Actually, we should do gameplay. Batman Forever on Super Nintendo.
Well,
Yeah,
it's gonna be
terrible.
requested. Dude, Super Quest.
I guess you're right. So how about you guys? Did you guys as kids or otherwise ever buy a game based purely on the perceived amount of content and just get really fucked over by it?
Nope.
I don't think so. I don't think I ever bought a game based on thinking it was long. I can't think of one immediately that comes to mind.
I bought Devil May Cry 2 because I love Devil May Cry 1 so much, and I was just...
Devil May Cry 2 was awful.
I fed into the hype, and I was like, dude, you can run on walls. I remember telling people in
Yeah.
my class, I was like, I was showing them pictures, like, you can run on walls. Like, they're like, whatever, fucking weirdo.
You can shoot guns at 2 different enemies.
Yeah, I was like, look at he's a dual wielding and run on walls. I'm like,
go away.
yeah, and they're like, I don't know you.
You smell.
Yeah.
Take a shower.
I didn't have a lot of fun.
Devil May Cry was both. Devil May Cry 2 was unimpressive in both the game and especially the story, and you know that when every game after that is a prequel. Like there's Devil May Cry 1 is it's not the beginning anymore, but it was that, and then Devil May Cry 2, and the next like 4 games is just all
They were like,
before
we're sorry, we're so sorry, we're sorry. I remember just playing and being like, something's wrong.
Yeah, it
Like,
doesn't. It ends with him just like driving his motorcycle into a demon
I don't- it was one of the-
space
it
or
was one of the
something.
first games.
It was really convoluted.
Sounds
and
about
weird.
right.
No, it really was. Yeah.
One of the first games where I did one of these, I'm like,
Yup.
I'm gonna go outside.
Yeah.
Like, I had better things to do.
I'm gonna go talk to girls.
The first one, it's like, yeah, there's demons and whatever, and you roll with it. The second one was just like, what the fuck is happening? What is happening here?
There's gonna be a good story behind that.
And I was saying, I did that purely based on how much I love the first one. I was like, this game is so great. There's no way they can fuck it up. It's only going to be more. Like, he could dual wield 2 guns and they shoot in different directions. Like, he could run on walls.
And he ran on walls, right? Yes.
Like,
yeah.
please be my friend. And the guy wouldn't talk.
And there was a chick in it.
There was a. Oh, you can play as the chick. That's right.
Yeah.
I never played as her because I'm like, ew, girl.
Trish? You can play as her?
No, it wasn't Trish.
It was a different, entirely.
I think she was only in that one game.
Yeah, Trish, who's just like his mom, who he wants to fuck, is weird.
Yeah, it's hot.
To Lawrence's point, I think.
You missed.
Nice.
You fucking dead.
I bought a game,
Oh, nice.
I bought a game that I thought would be good, and I never ended up playing it a long time because I hated it. So like, there were a few games that I made bad purchases.
Yeah.
But I never felt like I was obligated to play it because I bought it. And so I learned. It was one of those things where I just learned to like go look up game reviews because I spent $60 on Daikatana.
It's kind of like those people who like when you're younger and you're 21 and you just started going to bars and you're drinking and you don't have a ton of money and you're like, oh, I need to drink all of my beer, all of my drink before I leave. I need to finish it all.
Yeah.
And then as an adult, you realize actually I've already paid for it. It doesn't matter whether I finish it or not. That's how that's how I've always felt about games though. Is that like we definitely had shitty games when I was growing up. But I never felt like, oh, I have to finish this because it's the only thing I've got. I would just go read a book or something.
I got pressured into buying Sunset Overdrive. A friend wanted to play online, and he was like, "Yeah, bro, let's play." Never played with me.
I'll play with you.
Okay.
That game's really fun.
I know it is.
That
fun.
game is awesome.
I still need to do
bought
the
it.
Chaos Squad achievements, so.
Yeah.
Let me also say that I think that the idea of buying a game purely based on the amount of time that you can play seems silly to me. Even
that's not how I
even
buy
as a shut up, nobody asked you. Even as a kid, like the only games that I would buy were ones I'd be like, oh, there's a dragon in this game. Totally, I'm gonna buy it. Oh, like I can manage the finances of a major metropolitan city. Yes, I will buy this game.
Oh,
yeah.
But I would never.
Joel, what were your favorite Dragon games?
Where do you live so I can avoid you?
My favorite.
Yeah,
King's Quest.
Good.
I'm sure there was some stupid
Ultima?
like,
Joel would be that kid.
text-based like Hobbit mud that I like rip off.
You'd be that kid in the neighborhood who had like the really awesome computer but only plays stupid games, and I don't want to hang out with you.
How about the
I
game
played
based on the
killer
movie
games.
Dragonheart?
Did you play Furcadia a lot?
What?
Did you play Furcadia?
I don't know.
Damn it. Fuck.
I remember not the dragon thing, but as far as getting burned on a game, you know, can't speak highly of dragons, but I was a huge fan of Kirby Superstar or Kirby All Stars. What's it fucking called? Superstar.
The
thing.
minigame collection?
Yeah, for Super Nintendo. Yeah. And that's just like there's so much content in that game. Like that, I used to play that all the time with my cousin because there was 2 players. And you know, I got a little older and I got a Nintendo 64. And they came out with, I don't remember what the fuck it was called, but I think it was the first Kirby game for Nintendo 64. And I was like so fucking excited about it. What's that?
Air Ride?
No, it wasn't Air Ride. I think it was like Legend of the something or other or some shit like that. But I bought it. Fucking hated it. I was like to the point like I was distraught. Like I was playing it for an hour and I was just so like that buyer's remorse of like that's the one game I bought this month and I bought this, and I just remember being so just upset, just like disgusted with myself.
The Crystal Shard?
That's what it was, Crystal Shards.
Did your mom come in and say, "Sweetie, why are you crying"?
No, she didn't. She was like, "Shut the fuck up in there." She was like, "Why are you crying?"
I don't your decks. They just had sex.
She was like,
Busy fucking your dad.
She's like, I don't have a daughter, crybaby. Shut up.
Did your dick fall off? Come
Wow.
on,
Yeah.
get it together.
Actually,
Where's
I
this
saw.
temple you're
I saw on your
tunnel?
Oh, I don't know. Apparently, the waypoint I need to go to is here.
Yeah,
Oh.
it just moved.
You
Find the
talking about my
tunnel.
notes
Oh,
now?
I see. Oh yeah, no, I noticed on your notes right there you said Ni no Kuni. That was a game I did buy because all the reviews were like 10 out of 10. Best game of the year. Oh my god.
Guarantee you, none of those reviewers actually finished it. That game's like at least 70 hours long.
70 hours?
Level 5 RPGs are always.
Wait, so what does that term mean? Level 5 RPG?
That's the developer. Sorry,
Yeah.
they're called Level 5.
Yeah, I got a game for you.
Did you think it was a
Swole.
rating you was giving it? Okay.
No.
Give me some credit,
Come
Joel.
on, Joel. I even knew what he was talking about.
I don't have a PS3 anymore.
JRPGs.
I don't have a PS3 anymore, but I saw that game. Never
they
mind.
just seem.
Dragon Master.
I was
Sorry,
just
we're not
seeing
paying
Adam.
attention.
It's okay. It's fine. It's fine.
He doesn't have a PS3
I don't want to
anymore.
play as a high
I don't
school
have a PS3
student.
anymore.
I was a high school student.
I don't have a PS3. Guys, I don't have a PS3.
Yeah.
We know. We heard.
I left my PS3 plugged in for about a year and a half because I told myself I'm going to go back and I'm going to finish Ni no Kuni.
Yeah.
But I finally gave up, and that monstrosity's in the closet.
I actually have been playing PlayStation 3 games lately.
Yeah.
I have the original PS3, the Monster,
Yeah,
but
same
it's
here.
backwards
With the PS2
compatible.
crammed in there.
Yeah, and I think I was just playing. I was playing something on the PS4, and I saw they had recently Sony. I guess it was like their 20-year anniversary, so they had a 20-year sale.
Yeah.
So I looked at it PS4, and PS4 only has PS4 games. It doesn't have the older library. So I was like, oh, I wonder what the sale is for PS3 for the other games. So I booted up my PS3. I had to do like a bunch of updates and shit. I hadn't used them forever, and it was cool going kind of like what Adam was saying as far as like I can't even keep track of everything anymore. It's like I maybe keep track of what I'm focused on, and that's about it. Like all the other shit used to fall, like, just falls to the side. Where I used to like, oh, this game's coming out for this, and then this, and this, and this. So I'm checking out the sales, and I had no idea that they re-released like 3 series of games like in 2012 of like old PS2 games all remastered in HD.
Really?
And they were all like $10, like the Sly Cooper collection.
Oh, yeah.
All 3 Sly Coopers for like $12. Ratchet and Clank, fucking Jack and Daxter. I bought all that shit. I spent like $180 on PlayStation 1 through 2 games.
Did you play one?
I've started with Ratchet and Clank. I'm like I'm like halfway through the second
I've
one.
been meaning to do that. That's
But,
Trick is to
on my
make it
to-do
into a
list.
video series, so you have to play it.
Is early Ratchet and Clank still good?
The first one is the roughest because there's like none of the upgrades, there's none of the level up and stuff like that. But the second one, like as soon as you get into it, the first one's still fun. You'll screw yourself if you don't play it first because you're definitely not going to want to play the first one after 2 or 3. 3 is my favorite, probably in the whole franchise for the PS2. So yeah, that was cool. And Sly Cooper is a game that came out when I was a kid, and that was one of the games where it's like shit. I was always interested in it, but I never had any money for it. It was just like a series that I passed up on.
Yeah, same here.
So I was like, I wanted to play it, but like going back and playing those games now, not having played them is much harder. Like I can stomach stuff that looks like shit now because I played it as a kid. So it's
Yeah.
like got that nostalgia. Like I know it looks like crap and I'm okay with it, but a game I've never played before is totally different. So I was like super excited that Sly Cooper was in HD because HD is way more important than me than graphics. Like just that it doesn't look like crap on my TV, I'm totally fine with that. So I was just like, oh wow, all these games came out and I never knew.
That's how all the Steam sales are. Like when you
Yeah.
get Steam, and they're like all these games that I didn't get to play 3, 4, 5 years ago, they're now $2. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh. Yes, I know, $1 an hour, spool. Yes, $1 an hour.
Even most of those games, when I played them, I started on their I started when the second one came out because by the time the second ones were coming out, all the first ones were greatest hits.
Yeah.
So it's like $20 for a game, you know, and that's like all I could afford.
When you get that ugly red banner, you don't want
Yeah.
that on your shelf.
Yeah, I didn't give a shit then.
I don't care.
It would bother me more now if I cared.
Yeah, I don't even collect physical games anymore. I had that once, and then I moved, and I was like, this is stupid.
Had the exact same thing.
Right?
When I lived in New Jersey before I moved to Austin to work at Rooster Teeth, I moved in 2011. So being an adult in 2005 or having a full-time job, Xbox 360 came out the next year. That was like my first console where like I got everything. Like I bought every game, I could afford everything, every fucking accessory. I think I had maybe like 140 Xbox 360 games.
Damn.
So I had my father custom built me like basically a DVD like shelf. He just like bought all the wood, cut it up, blah blah blah, and he fucking attached it to my wall right above my TV. So I had a DVD shelf of nothing but video games, like 80% Xbox 360 games, and I must have had probably like 250 games up there. So whenever I wanted to play, it was all alphabetized. It was all like separated by console and stuff. And I would just pick one off, you know, take the disc out, put it in, And it would drive me nuts. Like when my friends, I'd go over their house and they would have like a bunch of discs thrown
that
on
drives me
the
crazy.
desk, and I'm like, oh, it's fucking insane.
They just like take it out and toss it over their
Yeah,
shoulder.
now
What are you doing?
now that's me. Like if I have physical discs, like when I moved to Austin, I just moved like 2 bags, and then I got all my shit shipped later. By the time it came to like ship all your stuff, my parents were like, do you want your cases? Because I had all the games because I wanted to bring them with me, and I'm like, no, I don't even have anywhere to put them in my apartment. And then now with digital, I'm like, fuck that. Like I'm completely flipped.
Yeah, I was gonna say for all the people who are always like, "Oh, dude, game collection is so important to me. Game collector's edition is like move."
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, move once or twice. Be an adult, you'll
100%. That was me. I was like, fuck that. I'm never. And then like digital was coming out, and I'm like, I don't like it. I like owning the game. I like having the physical game. You know, you get all that stuff. Compare that to you wake up in the morning, you like take a shit, you're in your boxers, and you're like, I just bought this game that came out today. I don't give a crap about physical media. Yeah.
Always comes back to shitting, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's shitting.
It's a touchstone.
I can buy it while shitting.
Nice.
It's true.
Oh, that's right, you can.
Ooh.
I think I fell.
Splash.
I was like,
I think I got it. Dive in.
I'm throwing ninja stars at a
I see
fire.
that.
Well, you didn't kill the fireman because you put fire around him. He has a fireproof suit.
Holy shit, Bruce!
This game is amazing.
That's why it didn't work.
This is the smartest game ever made.
So you know, also, Adam, I just don't know if you're aware of this. The reason you suck and you can't kill anyone is because you aren't leveling up your survival. All your damage is based on your survivor level. I don't know if you were aware of that. Every time you level up, all your damage increases. So like, your weapon you're holding right now will do more damage when you level up. So like, I'm level 20 or something, and I can actually kill people and not run like a coward. That would be the biggest difference.
What level is Adam?
Survivor level, I think he's like 14. Or is he 11?
He's like 11 or 10 or something.
Less than that.
Yeah, you're 11.
Oh, that's pathetic.
Yeah, so if you level that up, you will automatically just deal more damage. No matter the weapon, that guy just fucking murdered.
God damn it!
You
I
should
was
have
like,
leveled up more.
oh my god,
1800, that's a lot.
Fuck, man.
Man, that'll throw you back.
There's another game that kind of falls into this, maybe too long for its own good.
Bruce, get in here.
A lot of people said Alien Isolation
I think he's shitting.
was actually a little too long. Have you guys, any of you guys finished that?
I haven't.
You beat it. Spool,
Sit down. I gotta go check out that
because
video.
I feel like this is perfect for you. What did you pay for Alien Isolation?
What did I pay for Alien Isolation? Not full price, that's for sure.
Yeah, of course.
I gave him a Steam code.
Yeah, you did. I got it for free.
I got like an email like, congratulations, you get to review Alien Isolation, but we had like 6 codes. I was like, Spool, you want it? And he's like, you're my best friend. I'm like, please stop talking to me.
Yeah.
I don't
So
care
look at his
about Devil May
friends.
Cry.
So Spool, I have a series of questions for you.
Okay.
Let me put it this way: now that you've beaten it, how much would you feel like paying for it? And do you feel like the last 4 hours of the game needed to be in the game?
I feel like I probably would have paid like $30 for it.
Okay.
Probably. It gets very repetitive. Like, it gets very, like, they add things onto it, but then it gets to a point where, like, you're just doing the same thing, and, like, they just keep having the aliens, like, chase after you, and it gets to the point where, like, okay, I know the drill, and then you still get kind of screwed over because the mechanics are, like, just kind of built in for, like, the alien to get you no matter what in some place, and you just get kind of... But yes, as to saying, like, the last 4 hours don't need to be in it, I feel like the ending was good, but yeah, just the way they got to it took very long.
So, but according to your purchasing rubric, you should be fine with doing the same thing more because you're just more concerned about length versus cost.
No. I'm not concerned about
What are you
length
doing,
versus
Adam?
cost. But that definitely influences how much I'm willing to pay for a game. Like, if I feel like I can get 30 hours or 60 hours, whatever, of a game and enjoy it, I still want to enjoy a game. I don't, like, it's not like, if it's $60 and I get 60 hours of it, I'm still not going to buy it. Like, a game like Europa Universalis, that game you'll get hundreds of hours out of, but I'm not going to tell everyone to, like, go buy it because they probably won't enjoy it. But Alien Isolation
Sorry, I'm having fun.
totally dragged.
That's
But by
fine.
the end of that game, I was just like, I just want it to end. It was too into itself. Like, it just wanted to be a cinematic, like, experience.
That's kind of the point I'm at, where like certain games like this right now, like Dying Light,
You're
I'm
right
like,
there? I thought you were going over.
I did too.
Shit.
some games like this, I'm just like, I just want you to be over, just be done. So when people are like the order's only 5 hours long, I'm like, thank God. Like, I don't think I have time for that game to be 30 hours long. Like, I get some people want that, but I just like I don't have that time.
Fuck, you vaporize her
I'll
with a kick.
definitely
No, that's an exploding.
They
gun.
explode.
I want to play the order, but I want to wait for it to get kind of cheaper. Like,
You need
I
to buy
probably
a
wouldn't pay like
console.
$20 for it.
Well, that violates your $1 an hour rule, though, doesn't it?
It does, but
You're an adult. You're gonna make an adult
So
decision.
it sounds like you're coming around to you want to pay $1 an hour, but you're willing to pay more for a better experience.
No, not necessarily. I just think I'm trying to think of how I want to phrase how I.
Yeah,
He's trying to think how to get out of this.
You're on
Yeah, I know.
I'm trying to think of what my
Because I'm going to tackle you as soon as you say something.
I'm trying to think of what my thought process is. So the order, it looks cool. Like I just want to see it more for like the technical aspects of it and see what they really achieved, like the 25 frame or 24 frames per second. Like they made it super cinematic and like if it's worth it.
Steampunk.
I don't know if I would actually at the end of it think that $20 was worth it, but
What? 20?
because that's what I said.
Yeah.
Is that?
right?
Oh, goddamn. Is that where you like you go into a store? You're like, sir,
But
I'd like to buy this game for $20
if
because
I'm-
I feel
Usually
it's
if I'm
only worth
gonna-
this much.
If I'm gonna pay for a game more than like the $1 per hour thing, I look heavily at the reviews of it and see if it's really highly rated, or like I really want to play Last of Us, and I probably would have paid like $30 or $40 or whatever to play that, and that would be more over my thing. But at the same time, everyone has like this amazing feeling. On the converse side of that, with the Walking Dead Telltale game, I probably would have paid more money than the $20 that I paid for it, because I think I got it on sale too for like 10% off or something.
So yet again, it sounds like $1 an hour
There-
is baseline, but you're willing to pay more than that for
There
good
are
games.
some that I'm definitely with, like more narrative ones.
Like the
Really?
order. The narrative-based game.
But the order is kind of weird on because it's only 5 or 6 hours. It would be hard to say if at the end of it I felt that $20 or $60 or whatever was worth it.
I was gonna say like the order.
It's hard to say beforehand a lot.
I don't know. It feels like a game that I can actually go over to a friend's house and watch and be okay with.
Yeah. Definitely.
That would be free though.
Well, you know, there's a Let's Play on YouTube, so not saying that guy's your friend, but you can just sit there and watch it.
Going back to like games that just won't end. That's how I felt with Resident Evil 6. It would
really long.
It just wouldn't fucking end. And I don't know how much of the game, like a quarter of the game, was the same fucking shit from different perspectives. It's
Yeah.
the exact same fucking boss fights from the different campaigns. And it's just like the final boss, like for the Leon campaign, for example, is like 6 fucking forms. It just doesn't fucking stop. It's like I don't care. Come on.
It's almost Resident Evil like playing on its own tropes.
It
because
really
it's
is.
always like multiple forms. They feel like they have to outdo
Yeah,
each
but it's like,
itself,
you know,
so.
oh, it's a second form, that's fine, whatever. But when I'm like, come on, when I'm,
morphing again.
when I'm angry that I'm still playing the game, you've gone too far.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and that's, to be fair, already on top of a not great game. You know, it's pretty eh.
Oh man, I liked 6.
It was eh. Compared to the whole series.
Yeah.
Like that will happen, and you're like, I know exactly what's happening. I get it. Like, what's the point where you're like, you get it, and then you're just still mind-numbingly like continuing the
Going through the
motions.
motions. Yeah,
That's
when
kind of how I felt like with Alien.
That's
at
when
the
it
end.
ceases to be interesting, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If a game can always give you a new scenario or force you to think in a different way, then it continues to be interesting. But when a game just throws the exact same scenario at you with the exact same mechanics, like I've solved this puzzle already. That's one of the things that's so good about Portal. They don't repeat puzzle mechanic.
Yep,
Yeah.
New mechanic every level.
Yeah.
basically.
So once you figure out box goes through hole and lands on button, you don't have to do that 18 more times.
Well, it builds on itself.
Yeah.
You have to do it with something else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, it sounds like even Spool has agreed that a game can cost more than $1 an hour if the
If
experience
it's worth it.
Oh, you did?
That's just, it's such a confusing logic because it's like, wouldn't you only buy a game you thought was worth it anyway? It's like the $1 an hour only applies to crap, is what I'm hearing. Like, if I want the game, well, yeah, I throw that out.
Kind of. But at the same time, you don't know, a lot of times you don't know if a game's going to be that long. Like, there's games like Bioshock Infinite, a lot of people only played for like 7 or 8 hours. It took me like 13 or 14 because I played a lot slower and I go explore everything. So it's kind of individualized because you won't really know necessarily until you're done with the game. Or
I
most
thought that game was worth 2 playthrough at least anyway.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was like, as soon as I was done, I was like, boot it back up, put it on hard, and let's do this again.
Well, see,
Like,
that's and going back to the thing of a game being interesting. I played it on hard the first time, and I wanted to play it again, but it was 1999 mode. I was like, I'll give it a shot, and like that is no joke. 1999 mode is rough. I couldn't even, like I got to the first part where you're at the turret. And I had to like lean around a corner and just shoot the edge of the turret so it couldn't shoot me. I was like, this is dumb. This is not fun. This is me like cheating the system
That's
to
what I
get by.
felt when I beat Dark Souls this weekend. The whole time. That whole game is all about cheesing.
It is, but I think the game rewards you for doing that because it knows you have to. I don't know. I don't know if that's valid or not, but
I mean, reward. I mean, it's like James always says,
Yeah.
just a woman stepping on your balls.
That's
so it's
right.
like, thank you, mistress.
give me another.
Yeah, I was explaining it to, that it was like someone that abuses you and then buys you something nice afterwards. Like someone that beats you and then like, but here's a present, I'm sorry.
That's the definition of domestic abuse. I think.
It is.
Good job.
Good job.
Nice
Dark
job,
Souls.
Adam.
I was gonna say before we get out of here though, Let's Play Live, probably
Yeah.
worth mentioning. I think this is going up the night we're there.
No,
so
it's going up Wednesday. This
goes up Wednesday.
Oh, so it's 2 days from today.
2 days now. Okay, yeah.
Friday, February 20th.
Yes. Bruce, myself, James, and Lawrence will be in Austin with Michael.
Yeah, Michael, who are we playing against?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't fucking know. Oh, probably me. You know, I'll be there, and Jack, and Jeff, and Ray, Ryan, and what's that other one? That foreign asshole, Gavin. He'll be there.
I like him.
He's full.
He is, believe it or not.
He won't fight back. That's the good thing. He's not
but
American.
if you are in Austin, or if you are in Austin that night, come on by.
Yeah, tickets are still available. So you can
Yeah. And according to Gus, there are no bad seats in the house.
It's going to get real depressing if no one buys tickets. So please.
Well, they already did.
No, they're there.
We're
I think-
at like 80%, 85%, something like that.
I mean,
got a couple hundred left as of now.
I'm gonna buy the rest of them if you don't buy them, so you better hurry.
Do you think it's all one asshole just buying all the tickets?
It won't
Not
be
gonna
worth
show up?
$1 a second. $1 a minute.
$1
just so
a
you know.
second?
$1 a second is fucking expensive. That's you get blowjobs at the concert.
I know, yeah.
Wait, who?
Those are some great seconds.
God damn it. Well,
Good
I'm
job.
good.
Gavin.
I just want to say though that that'd be great. That's going to be the first, I think, official Funhouse Achievement Hunter collaboration.
Yeah, you know what else it is?
What?
Adam's 30th birthday.
Adam's 30th birthday.
The Earth has successfully gone
Yeah.
around the sun 30 times
I'm
since
now.
I've been here.
I have to now push that like to the forefront of Let's Play Live. That's now the most important thing. I learned that today.
How
You
bad will it
guys-
be if you whip his ass on his birthday?
You guys were originally doing it in January, and I was like, perfect, let's do this. Let's get tickets. Or in November, maybe? I forget. You guys pushed it a few times. Blame Jack. But
Yeah, it was.
But then I remember he's like, we got it. Solid announce date. February 20th. I was like, fuck you. You know that's my birthday. He's like, no, I don't. I don't care
What
about
the
you.
fuck would Jack know? You know it, man.
Well, I know Gus's is on the 22nd, so I was like, maybe they were avoiding. I don't know. Either way, I was just like, God damn it.
Why do you know Gus is
It's
on
not
the
a
22nd?
conspiracy, man.
I don't know what his
Because
birthday
mine's
is.
on the. Well, I think maybe Gus and I both have that form of Asperger's where we like numbers. And I was like, I like his. Well, mine,
I like how
mine
you
is,
just said Gus has Asperger's.
We all have Asperger's a little bit, but I think Gus and I were having a discussion
I'm not
of
sure
like,
I like this statement.
he likes his number, 222. Like that's kind of cool. Mine's 0220. Maybe this is
What?
a
Makes
dream I
perfect
had.
sense. Yeah.
He's talking about
Have you met Gus yet?
Gus, yeah, I met him in a dream, I think.
I'm really
Gus, if you're listening, I'm sorry.
Speaking of Asperger's.
Yeah.
Here it
You're really
comes.
selling it, Adam.
God damn it.
How many toothpicks are on the floor?
This is why I don't have friends. Because I just say everyone has Asperger's. Regardless, I forget what's happening. But anyway, yeah, it's my birthday, so
Hooray!
You're already losing the memory, dude. It's getting foggy.
I'm sorry. Have we met? How are you? I'm just getting the worst. So, Lawrence, take us home.
You're the birthday. You're the birthday. You're the birthday, boy or girl. Thank you for listening, everyone, to Dude Soup. We'll be back next week. Make sure to go to youtube.com/funhouse for this and more amazing content. Until next week.
Amazing.
Thank you, Michael, for joining
Thank
us.
you. Thanks for having me.
Michael.
I'm glad we could solve video games for everybody.
Remember, $1 1 hour.
Don't remember that.
It's gonna be a shirt.
Unless it's good.
Unless I work.
Were you playing this game
Should I just give you a tablet?
because of that article you read
Easier?
earlier today?
Move this to this
Absolutely.
side. There we go.
Well, look, we found a lot of rumors. Go ahead, start the podcast. Sorry, my bad.
Welcome, everyone, to a room temperature, slightly less than ideally salty
They'd say
bowl
it's
of
hotter
Dude
than
Soup.
room temperature in here.
I really want me to turn it up?
No, we can't turn anything up because then the room noise will get even louder than it already is. We
Everybody
have
hates
to.
that.
Yes, and the more we talk, the more hot air we're expelling. So the further.
Do you remember those really nice sets that they had Stage 5? Rooster Teeth?
I wouldn't know.
Remember?
Don't talk about that yet.
Boom!
Don't talk about that yet.
Do you remember the really nice sets? Like
No.
the
Stop
temperature
cheating.
was
I was
perfect?
drunk the entire time.
It's not working. Just play the game. Just have fun and play the game. There. So we will talk about that in a moment. Damn it, Adam.
You play as
Be
famous
good at video
Jedi
games.
Baz
I just
Luhrmann.
want the lightsaber.
Just
I can't read
do
these.
it.
You haven't earned it yet, Adam.
Dick Cheeto, Jedi Knight extraordinaire.
But on the subject of Jedi Knights, there have been some.
Wow, look at that. That's a nice saber.
Damn it, Adam. There have been some spicy rumors about Battlefront, which everybody cares about for some reason.
They really do.
Oh,
They're gonna
boy.
come- Oh my gosh.
Sorry, continue.
The Force is with him.
What website was it? Hold on, I gotta look this up. This is something special.
I forget. It's like makestarwarsgo.com.
Yeah. He's
Making
closer
Star
than you're
Wars
further
dot net.
away.
Yeah, MakingStarWars.net.
MakingStarWars.net, the author Jason Ward, the editor-in-chief of MakingStarWars.net.
Do you think that's on his business card?
Oh, absolutely.
Editor-in-chief.
He posted a list of spicy tips he got about
catering chef.
Part-time editor-in-chief, full-time Star Wars fan.
So Jason Ward, before these people impugn your integrity too hard, we know that you're legit because you posted a bulleted list.
Oh my gosh! Chop that stormtrooper in half.
On that bulleted list is a lot of somewhat interesting details about Battlefront. He doesn't quite say where he got this information or who sent it to him, but that's okay.
Journalism.
Yeah.
A good editor-in-chief always hides his sources.
It's all about ethics.
Ethics in gaming journalism.
But scroll bars. This is all messing with me. So here are some of the high points, and we can discuss them because Lord knows we're all Battlefront fans.
I am.
I'm saying that because I'm actually not.
That's why we're playing
I'm a
Jedi
Battlefront
Outcast.
fan.
I realized after the fact.
Except when you're a Battlefront fan, you don't have anything to do for about 10-year gap.
Just keep playing Battlefront, bro. Greatest game ever made.
You become the editor-in-chief of Making Star
Oh,
Wars.
yeah.
That's what you do.
So this top secret list. Oh boy. Oh, he's done. Nope.
I want to be clear here. I think I played this game non-stop for like 5 years.
Amazing.
You should explain that Adam is trying to shoot at stormtroopers, and every single time they glitch or do something dumb.
And he keeps stopping to read more
continues
cheats,
to shoot.
and then his head gets in the way of what I'm trying to read.
Keep going.
Is your vision? Oh yeah.
I'll read the first one.
Really can't read
The story of Star Wars Battlefront's campaign will span pretty much the entire Star Wars saga.
Boom!
So a lot of people have said that that's not actually the case, right?
I'm the one that said that.
Misa gonna be
actually,
in
wait.
Star Wars game.
I should clarify.
Jar Jar.
Dice said that's not the case.
That's right.
And what's aggravating is in this list of bullet points, he eventually gets around to saying that, but it's a very man, what are you doing? Anyway,
Just play.
It's a misleading set of tips, mostly because Dice said specifically nothing from Episode 7 will be in Battlefront.
Oh, right.
But that may not be the case.
Well, also, I mean, it might span the entire saga, meaning episodes 1 through 6.
And I think that's what he means. So to go on, let's hear. Battlefront will feature segments in which you play as both the good guys and the bad guys. So the rebellion, the Empire.
That's cool.
The majority of the
Empire is bad in this story?
It depends on your perspective.
Well,
I don't think so.
Let Lawrence finish.
The majority of the campaign will take place during the original trilogy. There will be some segments of the campaign that take place between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens.
Awesome!
So some original trilogy content. Let's see here. The last section of the campaign takes place before and during the opening segments of Force Awakens, which could imply that there's a big battle at the beginning of Force Awakens.
And supposedly this game's coming out a month before The Force Awakens, the movie.
Yeah.
So
which would put it holiday 2015.